We have 22 pieces here basically. You've got the top plate, the center ring, and your frame base, as well as your two side plates, which you'll mount your legs on eventually. All your uprights, your shoulder wings, which go on both sides of your frame, and all your other little pieces. There's 22 pieces total, and normally I send along a little sheet here that shows the pieces and how they're labeled. But basically, here's how you put it together. Starting with the base plate, I usually take the center ring, and you want to orient the center ring so that all the slots line up. And if they don't line up properly, there's two slots here in the back on both sides that are not exactly the same. So if you get it wrong, you flip it over, basically, and line it up. Did I get that right? Yeah, okay. There we go. We got it lined up now. So basically, after lining it up, you take both your G pieces and you put them in the back. Now the front of your base plate has it flares out, and the back of the base plate is straight. So that's how you know this is the front and that's the back. And the back of your center ring has your big wide piece. This is where your door is going to go eventually. So by putting the G pieces on, with the shortest end of it down towards the base plate, you can slip that in there, and that's where we start at. Now what we'll do is we'll take the uprights. You want to put it where the notch is towards the back of the frame, and you want to slide it all the way to the front, and then slide it in place so the slot is toward the outside on both pieces. Just like that. Now, normally what I do is I try to assemble the front section is probably the most difficult. So you'll start with one of the sides, which is, like, say, if you look at the drawing here, side C, or part C I should say. There's two of them here, C and D. And normally, at least in my kits, I label it. So you're looking for C with the smallest slot toward the top, and the bigger pieces toward the bigger slots toward the bottom. You slide it in place just like that. And now we have one of the pieces here that's got two slots cut out in the center. This goes on the bottom. This would be piece, what is this labeled? Like C1. C1 through D1. This is like the first layer, and the center ring is your second layer. So you've broken it down into layers. Alright, now we want to put the next one, which is the third one from the top. And then we put a plain one with no slots in it above that. And then the last one is your thin one, which is only about a 1/4 inch thick, at the very top. This right here is your data, actually right above that is your data slot. You'll have another piece that goes in there eventually. And then we have D, your piece D, which goes over here. And you start putting these pieces in. Alright, so there we go, got the top piece. We push these here to get them all lined up. And sometimes you might need a little hammer to give it a little tap. And we take a little hammer here to maybe get a little tap, put it in the slot. Line all these up. That looks good. nice and tight. Now we have the two center pieces here. We have one piece off to the side, just a little piece right here. This is, I guess C3, B3, basically because it's going between C and B. So we need is B. We've got C on the outside here. Look, this one's C, this is D. And B is this one here. So this will slide in. Like that. Looks like everything fit together really well. Now we just got A. A slides over here. So this is the most tricky part of the frame, is the front section, because it's everything is intertwined. Now we can put the sides on, which is real easy. You've got one piece that looks like this, which has a little peg sticking out the back. That goes in E, which goes over on the other side, which is the only full height piece. And that kind of slides in the slot like this. The other side has two Fs, which are both the same height, which are these guys right here. So on the other side you've got a plain piece here, the wing, I guess, that these are called, side wings. And you want to eyeball it here, get the slot lined up, and then F just pops right in, like that. And there's another one here in the back. Be careful, especially if this is plywood. Don't press too hard in the center of these, because it may snap, because there's only a little bit of wood holding these together. So go sparingly on the pressure. Now on the other side, E goes in the back, like I said. And obviously I've got this upside down. Okay, here we go. Slides right into the ring, and this pops right into that slot there, just like that. And then there's the last piece, which is the F. And basically you're done. All you gotta do is put your top plate on, like so. Normally you want to line up your fronts like that, and then you want to get the side plates lined up in the slot. And kind of hammer it down slowly. Make sure you got the back piece there. There it is. This frame is now assembled. And you'll see some areas here that will need a little bit of tender loving care, so to speak. But basically, before you glue these together, you want to make sure that everything fits good. Sand off any burrs or anything that you want to do on sandings. And in some areas you might want to sand off some of the parts that stick out. Make sure everything is perfectly round. You might have some things that stick out further or don't sit flush. You want to pull, if they sit in too far, you want to pull them out and make them flush with the rails. But before you glue it, there's two things that you'll probably need to do. One is the utility arms that fold out on the front here have to have holes put in, so that you can put a bolt in there for them to pivot on. You have to drill those holes before you glue this together. Otherwise you're going to have to pry that out of there. There's no way to get a drill in there to do that. So you want to kind of test fit your skins. So I've got some skins back here. So you get your skins, you want to test fit these and figure out where you're going to mount your utility arms and where you're going to drill your holes. And the skins will probably sit up a little bit on your frame. Your frame will be slightly shorter than your skins. That's good. That's fine. Because what you're going to do is when you put your dome on, after you get your ring the Lazy Susan bearing mounted. You're going to put some bolts in there, and you're going to adjust it up and down a little bit to get the dome to sit flush with the skins. So hopefully your frame is a little shorter and sits below your skins a little bit. Just by about a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch is fine. The other thing you need to check on the sides here, let me go ahead and put my back skin on to show you where it's at. Here's where the back skin goes, and as you can see, that just about matches up. And on the other side I have a little gap, so I'm going to probably need to do a little bit of sanding to get this to fit nice and snug. Now over here on the side, in the shoulder area, you're going to have a round block that goes in here so that you can mount your legs on. It would probably be easier to drill the holes on the side plate before you glue it. So you want to put this together with your skins, mount your skins with tape or whatever to figure out where and how you want to put your shoulders on, how you're going to mount them, and mark on there where your holes are going to go. And do that before you glue this up, so you can do that flat with a drill press. If you're using a hand drill, it's going to be like pretty sloppy. You can, but it's not going to be that tight. Basically, and that's it. There's our wood frame with our set of aluminum skins on. Turn this around. That's basically it. Now this drawing here you can get on the Yahoo file site. It would be under, I think it's under the Mike Senna folder. You can download that and print that out. With my frames, I just print this out and I include a copy of it so people can see what the pieces are. Everything is marked with letters and numbers, and all you do is put it all together like a puzzle. But I figured I'd put together this video real quick to show what needs to be done to get it to be get it assembled. So enjoy.